Tanzania announces the death of its second missing national. One of them involved. They were both involved in the Gaza attack and the Hamas attack in Israel that have brought about their loss of life. Ajani Ajala, good morning to you, and I hope you are doing very, very well. Thank God Nigeria is so happy to you, and we hope that you are doing very, very well, as I will say all the time. All right, then, I'm moving on straight to some other stories making the rounds in other parts of Africa as well. In Ghana, well, when it comes to the stories that is making the rounds in the political field, we are not on government payroll. MPP Achim's Redwood delegates are saying. So they are not on government payroll, let me put it that way. So how do they get their monies in what they are doing? How do they come at all those things? Are they contractors who are not contractors who have become contractors? You know what? Yeah, man. Okay. And in other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world as well. Okay. Putin tells Russia his war objectives are unchanged. Russia's leader holds his first major news conference since his full-scale invasion of Ukraine began, and he said that my war is unchanged. Okay, and eyes on Orban as EU decides on support for Ukraine. Well, is Mr. Orban going to allow Ukraine to join in? The Hungary Prime Minister? We'll see what happens on that. We're following very, very closely. And the monster iceberg, just under 1 trillion ton, scientists use a radar satellite to take a tape measure to the world's biggest block of ice. Moving. Where is it going to be moving to? Maybe North Africa and cool the place a bit. The price of peace between Israelis and Palestinians is one of the debates going on. UK Prime Minister says two-state solution, the right outcome. What's been happening? We'll be telling you more about that. Do you think that we've got to a place where the two-state solution is going to happen? You look at the devastation, the destruction that has taken place in Gaza, and you say, well, they brought it upon themselves. But somebody say human rights, whether the perpetrators or whatever happened, that is another story. Yes, good morning to you. And he says, good morning, Archie and Mr. Archie Frank and Mr. Olayomi. We salute you. We salute you. We salute you, Olayomi. Okay, now in the UK front as well, before we get ourselves ready and get Mr. Olayomi Koiki on, one unaccounted for and injuries after explosion. The MP for the area says they were walking wounded after the fire at the Tree Forest Industrial Estate. An explosion, and of late there have been lots of explosions happening in what we call our place, Wales. And my issue or my story has been, what exactly is happening there? There's like all that bad stories happening. The father, stepmother, and uncle deny girl's murder. Sarah Sheriff, 10, was found dead at her home in Woking in August. The parents and the care, they ran out of the country to Pakistan, but managed to come back to come and face the full rigors of the law. But let's see what is going to happen there. And lobbying scandal. MP faces common suspension. Now, Tories face possible by-election after Blackpool South MP Scott Benton is condemned by standard.
Yes, so I don't that up on one for me.
Let's enjoy this song, and we'll be having Mr. Live.
No, I don't want the song to flit into my program because of the copyright. I just can shake out in the piano nearly fraction. Oh, John Roderick put the lane in my wife, you know. Oh, John Roderick put the latter on. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí ẹ wọ́n wá láti India ọlọ́run bá wà pẹ̀lú yín níbẹ̀ yẹn o yáyàyà ọmọ rice èlò ló ń ta rice nísìn ta ló máa ra rice ta ló fẹ́ rice má lọ da rice náà ta ló fẹ́ rice mo fẹ́ fún yín ní rice ta ló fẹ́ rice ẹ fẹ́ goyin kò sẹ́ni tó fẹ́ rice ìyá wa Táíwò Kíkẹ́ ẹ̀yin ò lè ní ìdẹ̀ bàbá wa Kẹ́hìndé Sàlámì ẹ̀yin ò lè ní ìdí rice ẹni tó wà Nàìjíríà nìkan ló ní ìdí rice ta ló ní ìdí rice ni mo ṣe máa wọrí kò sẹ́ni tàbí fún ní ráìsì èlò ló ń ta báàgì ráìsì nísìn èlò ní báàgì ráìsì báyìí lágbára ẹ wá ń fi ibi pa àwọn èèyàn wa títí báyìí Nàìjíríà kan fi ibi pa àwọn èèyàn wa ni ó dẹ̀ kí n sáré ṣe tíì mi padà ní tíì ṣá ìní ìdí tíì ká máa fi tí yẹn jógẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Star Radio kí lẹ́ni mo wé èèyàn wa ẹ jẹ́ sáré plug omi yẹn èèyàn wa ṣé mo wà pa Omita culture ló ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni my brother I love you too man shout out to you ṣe láìkì direction tí mo fi sí lẹ́yìn báyìí ṣé ká fílà àbí ká tún dá padà sí sáìdì báyìí ṣe láìkì lẹ́yìn adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bá wa Mọ́yọ̀ tí wọ́n bá wa payín ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n ti ní ká gbó wọ́n ní gbogbo nǹkan níwọ̀nba díẹ̀díẹ̀ ni o wọ́n ní tí màá fi mu tíì lélẹ̀ ìyàwó tó wá sórí program lánàá wọ́n ní Koiki ẹ máa ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ níwọ̀nba díẹ̀díẹ̀ ni o díẹ̀díẹ̀ má yẹ kó pọ̀ díẹ̀ ó ti tó má yẹ kó pọ̀ púpọ̀ adélẹ̀ lérí lágbára Ọlọ́run kù díẹ̀ ni tábà ti give up so ẹ ká platform olókù tí kò wà on ní bíbá Instagram okay àìtí wà on lórí Instagram so ẹ ká fèrè ṣe Instagram mo kí gbogbo ọlẹ́ǹkan sí a ní ṣe wàhálà lásán àwa la ní síyá àgbẹ̀yìn ẹni tó bá like irú nǹkan tí mo wọ̀ ẹ lọ sórí IG Instagram page Omita culture wàláì ẹ ní regret ẹ ní regret pé darapọ̀ mọ́ wọn tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ ti ní látọ̀dọ̀ Koiki bẹ́ẹ̀ lè fún yín ní discount kékeré wàláì ẹ̀yin náà máa look good bí èmi náà ṣe ń look good báyìí àtàrọ̀ bò ní fẹ́ ṣe tíì o ẹ jẹ́ ń pa speaker because kì í jẹ́ ká gbádùn mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí àmì ṣe wàhálà lásán wàláì ó sì ń ṣọmọ lókù bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwa la ní sí àgbẹ̀yìn ṣé ń rí mi gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́wàá mi báyìí so a máa pe studio nísìn ẹ fi pa bàbá wa Mọ́yọ̀ ànígbà fún yín láíláí wàrí jìnnà lù àwa táwa ń lu òyìnbó tíì náà la máa fi ń gbéra kọ́lọ́n kó ṣàánú wa wàláì gbogbo táyẹn tutù ni ó tutù bámbá ni Ọlọ́run mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí ẹ ká pe Archie ká bá mi dáadáa n fẹ́ kí everybody máa rí mi ìyá kò ṣe move ilé náà wà báyìí so that everybody can see me so ẹ ká pe Archie ẹ̀yin tèmi lórí mixlr ṣó ń dún tátátá ṣó ń dún tótótó ṣó connect ṣó connect Nàìjíríà yẹn Ọlọ́run okay afternoon lẹ́yìn wà lọ́dọ̀ yín alright afternoon mo kí wo wọlé nǹkan sí let's call Archie ẹ ká pè Archie ó yá ó ń sókè mo gbọ́dọ̀ yọ teaspoon kúrò náà wọ́n á dàbí bàbá Ìjẹ̀bú kí ló dé tó connect.
From the Caribbean as well, because we are an African Caribbean radio station, and I can tell you shortly, now we're going to be taking you straight to our North London studios, where I've got my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, all geared up and ready to fire on all cylinders. And let me put it this way, good morning.
A very good morning to you. Not sure why the camera is frozen, but we're working on that to see if we can bring it back on as quickly as possible. A very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our viewers and listeners from around the world, and welcome once again, to the Starr Radio UK network. Still trying to figure out the camera seems to be frozen, but we're working on that. It seems to be back now. Yeah, seems to be back now. Yes.
Yes. We want to thank every one of you who have tuned in this morning to listen to us on Starr Radio UK, and plus who listen to us daily. I mean, especially how much it costs you to buy data, especially those of you on the African continent. I know it costs you an arm and a leg, yet you want to do that and listen to us, and we appreciate it greatly. greatly, immensely. We are so grateful to you. It's coming to the end of the year, and if we have people who go to various places to go and say thank you to God, thank you to whatever they did, anything that has protected them, and we think that it's right to also say thank you to you for your support. But for you, there will be no need for us to be sitting here doing anything. So we thank you very much. Myself, my colleague, Ms. Olayomi, Koiki, and all the presenters of Starr Radio UK, we appreciate you. Those of you on other platforms as well listening to us, we appreciate you greatly. Yomi, if you want to say thank you to them as well.
Well, I actually, said that yesterday, and we must continue to say that without our, lovers and friends that are listening to us on different platforms, not just in Nigeria, some have to wake up, just to catch up with us. The Easy Dollar, there's those in, Tostino in Russia. We have listeners in New Zealand, in Australia, and like I always say, this is what we love to do as well. But we appreciate them from the bottom of our heart. And as we are just less than 16 days, if I'm right with my calculation, I guess it's about 16 days before the end of this month, we also continue to pray that Nigeria will not happen to us, because the image you're looking behind us is a professor of art in Houston that had a very terrible encounter, and he has said, cut my neck off if you ever see me again in Nigeria. I'll be telling us details of what has happened 48 hours ago from his journey to Ghana, into Togo, Benin Republic, but it seems that getting to his own country, Nigeria, he was almost killed.
Well, listeners, stories we always bring your way. Ajani Ajana, once again, good morning to you and to every one of you. And we know that at the end, getting to this festivities, Christmas and the New Year, we want to troop in, especially those of us in the diaspora, troop into Africa or Nigeria or Ghana, wherever, to celebrate with our families. But if somebody should make such a statement, then what are the causes? What made the person make that statement? So let's go to Yomi in our North London studios, where he has got all that story for you. Yomi, who is the gentleman and why is he making that statement?
Well, is well known to not just the Nigerian community in US, but also known to the world as well, the world at large. Is a professor, of art history at the Houston University in America. Is currently, I believe, on whatever reason to Africa, mostly to Nigeria. But for him to have decided that he would make the journey from Ghana shows that the love that we all have when it comes to this continent. But sometimes, if care is not taken, we could be caught up, with with what we call the security situation that many of us are concerned. So I'm just trying to open up quickly so that we can give us some kind of a background to Professor Moyo Okedeji. If you go on his Facebook page, you'll be able to see some of his artwork. He's currently art and history professor at the University of Texas at Houston. He also studied at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. He also studied at University of Ife, where he was actually traveling to until certain things happened when he actually got to the border between Nigeria and Seme. He had no problem from what he has written out in the last 48 hours from Ghana to Togo, but it seems that when he got to Nigerian borderline, not just $500 was taken away from him, also he was almost killed or probably kidnapped, and those officers would have probably said, none of us know what happened to him. Let me give us a sneak view because of what he wrote is quite lengthy. We've talked about it just before I came on air. He says that when he got to the border between Nigeria and Seme, he was accosted. He showed his Nigerian passport, even though the passport has expired, but he also held an American passport that he was traveling with. That probably may be a flag to those on the ground. It was said that he can't travel into the country with an expired passport. I'm not an immigration officer. I will not be able to say what immigration law says as Nigerians, but those that I've spoken to this morning say you can travel to Nigeria even with a passport that has expired. His money was returned back to him. He had a large amount of money, but it seems $500 was removed. It was then taken to Festac, My 2, where he was meant to connect another driver to take him to Ife, where he had some other engagement. This is where another 3 officers with AK-47 get close to the vehicle that he was in and then told him to calm down. They did a search on him. He explained to them that he's a professor and also show them ID card of his university, his driver license, but they were not going on for that. But who saved him? He actually said this, that the Igbo people in that area, literally about 50 of them, surrounded the officer, stood their ground, and this is how it says in this message on Facebook. Also listening were some Igbo guys hanging out at the motor park. Before you could say, Kilode, what has happened? The officer searched me thoroughly. They started searching my bag. They found that my suitcase contained my personal effect. They were interested in the pair of shorts, which they said looked like a camouflage short. They pull out the short. Then there was a sculpture that I made. When you go on his Facebook page, you will see he makes a lot of sculpture, but it seems that they were not comfortable with one that says Juju on it. Well, it seems that the officer said they will allow him to go with them to the station. This is where the Igbo people that were in that area stood their ground and said, we will not allow you to take him, just as many people that have been taken away never return. The question then went further that after those stood their ground, the officer ran away from that, returning back all his possession. And it went further to say that, I recall the traumatic moment I left the country in 1992. I swear, if you see me in this God-forsaken country again, cut off my neck.
It is sad. It is sad when we have people who could invest, now, not only financially, but their experience or knowledge that they've acquired. Can you just imagine him being in Nigeria, maybe lecturing in one of the university institutions, the impact that he can make? But because of this insecurity and everything that goes on there, like you see, he's now saying that it's not going to come. Now, you and I are listening to him, okay? Now, and those who are listening to us are hearing exactly his testimony of what has gone on.
And this is exactly what has happened. If you look at the last two diaspora, that Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho literally decided to stood up, and rise against, the insecurity. We're not talking about the northern part of Nigeria now. This is in Lagos State where he has encountered, this particular, traumatic experience. And he has said that, he's making his way back out of Nigeria quickly. Dr. Borode was killed. He's a, PhD holder as well, returned to Nigeria at Igogon where he was killed. Then let's talk about also Mr. Gbenga Olabi that came from Maryland. His body was not even buried in Nigeria. The family decided to relocate the body back and give it a befitting burial in Maryland.
Well, it's a sad one there, but if any of us are embarking or planning to go on holidays, I'm not saying that don't go. I mean, we pray that Nigeria doesn't happen to any of us, and therefore when you go, fine. But when you get there, please make sure you take good care of yourself. It's very, very important. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Mr. Olayomi has got the president,
Ondo State.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we have Edward Khan, but apparently there's now a state broadcast in Ondo State, and it seems maybe, the peace that we've been talking about, I mean, we expect this should have happened. We pray that Akeredolu get back on his feet as quickly as possible and take back his mantle. But for now, we must allow peace to reign. According to the news coming now, Ondo State Deputy Governor that is now in charge as the acting governor, in a broadcast yesterday, calls for unity, prayers for Akeredolu in a statewide broadcast. I come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
So is he the one in the middle?
Well, we're working on his own. We're working on his own image so that we don't mix him up, because we have to give the acting governor, a kind of an image as well. So that is going to be coming up as the engineer are working on that.
So behind you is not the acting governor. I was looking at the president. I know the president, but the one behind you exactly.
That is the elder statesman Edward Clark that actually spoke against that issue as well earlier. Before Akeredolu decided to now vacate the office and allow the acting governor to take charge. And right now, the images of the acting governor will be coming on the screen. And that's the acting governor right there, taking his seat, which is exactly what many have been talking about.
Yeah, it is good. good that he's there to take the seat to see to the running of the affairs. I mean, holding the fort until if we will pray that Akeredolu will be okay and then he can come and resume his position. But interestingly, when it comes to our politicking in Africa, I'm looking at it this way that it looks like we seem to gratify people that are looking at the service that they are rendering to us. So you look at the whole state, how many of the people, apart from them, they are his close political group who want to be supporting him, what in spite and despite, what number of percentage of the population were looking at no, we need somebody substantive to be there and not his wife, or some people signing stuff like how many? What percentage, if you are looking at it?
Well, I think the percentage is high because it's a state that has so much at stake itself when it comes to the insecurity that, because that particular state has an influx of terrorists driving through. There would also be the economic factor as well. So from the indigene, I have one of our media in the Yoruba Nation campaigner that have talked about it, that it seems that those on the ground really want the state to work. And that is the full picture of both the governor, the president, and Akeredolu is the one on the left-hand side. The deputy that is now the acting is on the right-hand side, and President Bola Tinubu in the middle there. So it seems that the percentage is quite high, and I'm sure it's just to bring back the peace and normality back in the state. And going into, reading from what the broadcast of yesterday, the acting governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, has urged the people of the state to embrace unity even as they return the state to the path to accelerate its progress. Ayedatiwa said this this morning, during a state broadcast on the assumption of office as now as the official acting governor of the state, following what we now call the due process, which we've been talking about, the transmission of power to him. Maybe Akeredolu was a little bit worried that Sowore was coming into the town on the 16th just to push effort for him to go to all that medical leave. But it seems that, the palace also refused to allow Sowore to use the same place, even though the palace all says it's not for anybody, but it's also for political gathering and everything. But it seems that, as they all know Sowore, they decided to unplug him using the hub. I don't think Sowore will need to travel down anymore since Akeredolu has now decided to leave.
Well, listeners, Starr in the UK. I mean, we're talking about unity there, but when you can't talk about development when you're not talking about security. We need unity, we need security, and then we can actually have the development. But would that be? That's why we have Chief Dr. Sunday and they are standing up for their community, and they think that the right thing has to be done. But what do you think about it? Let us hear from you. Once again, massive good morning to you. Now, moving on to some other stories making the rounds there as well, pertaining to this Kaduna bombing that took place. Well, there was a suit against the federal government, but it looks like the indigents or those who have been affected, the community, are saying that no, we didn't sue the federal government. So what is happening there? Is it that because the president said, we should take it that it's one of those things that God wanted us to, some people to die? Yes. And not to digress, but there was a person here in the UK who went to take for a surgery. Now, when they went for a surgery, there were mistakes done. There were some of the tools that were used were left in the inside the person, and the person was sewn up. And later on, when they found out that thing was killing the person said, "You know what? Oh, it's an African. It's an African." He said, "Oh, it's God. That's why I need to." And so I asked myself the question: what actually goes on in our heads? The people have been killed. I mean, devastation has gone on. You know how much money that government is wasting, and people are blowing away, politicians are wasting, and you need to be compensated. And they say they don't want to know that, or are they going to now, sue the government for a huge amount more than what they've sued? Yomi, tell us more.
Well, the military, as we know, is taking these very serious, and like we always say, that we hope that they will be able to deal, with the problem as quickly as possible. But what we are now seeing that, Kaduna bombing, the military have now raised its 8-man panel. Villagers disown 33 billion suit is one of the headlines coming up as well. According to the defense headquarters, it has now opened an investigation into the December 3rd accidental bombing of Tundu Biri community in Kaduna State, which claim about 150 lives, and we pray for those that are still, taking, treatment in different hospitals across the state. This is coming from the Director of Defense of the Media, Major General Edward Buba, in an interview, granted, says that there is now eight senior officers. This was the leadership of the Tundu Biri community in Igabi local government area in Kaduna State. Have also disowned the claim that the community had filed a 33 billion lawsuit against the federal government. I've been hearing that news as well, that it seems that some individuals will have to sue the military. But as we also say in Nigeria, if that has not been coming from the real community, maybe there's another corruption that wants to kickstart, and that is why the community is quickly speaking out so that nobody acts on their behalf. The military will probe the incident. When the panel is set up, the details will be communicated accordingly. Let's hope that we will get a better outcome as against the one that we never got during the NSAS killing of innocent Nigerians by the previous administration.
Well, listeners, we hope so. As Yomi said, we keep fingers crossed that it's not because they are being brainwashed and therefore they are saying, it's okay, it's God who was, or Allah who was killing us, and that's okay. No, somebody shouldn't make a mistake like that and then somebody suffers for it. No. Okay, but if it is that some people are trying to step in to do all their kululu to just siphon money from them on behalf of these people, then we think that is the wrong move there as well. But listen, it's Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Mr. Olayomi, Koiki, and North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. I hope that you enjoyed the Niger voices yesterday. Bishop Adesina, a massive good morning to you. And our mom who joined in to give us all the health tidbits there. Oh boy. Now, if you didn't listen to that program or you missed out on it, be rest assured, you can go to the Starr Radio UK YouTube channel or Facebook, and then go listen to it. It will help you a great deal. Okay? Yes, you have to pray, you have to do also, but you need to take good care of your health as well. All right, then. Now, let's move on. Now, federal government didn't orchestrate Rivers crisis, says Information Minister. Why are they putting their defense that they didn't orchestrate?
Well, it seems that the issue in Rivers State is quite, another history, because what we are saying now is that the godfatherism is not working, and it seems that, that is not favorable. I mean, we have a new, Minister of Information that is also, coming out to say that this morning, according to the Minister of Information and the Orientation, Idris Malagi says the political crisis in Rivers State was not orchestrated by the federal government. The minister who spoke, in an appearance in one of the mainstream media daily program this morning said that the fact that some of the actors in the crisis are in the cabinet of President Bola Tinubu does not literally mean the situation in the state was engineered by the All Progressive Congress. It's a PDP state, but it seems that 27, members of the federal, assembly of Rivers State have now changed to APC. The remaining 6 that are still loyal to the governor decided to do the budget. The River House of Assembly itself has been pulled down because there was a kind of a eruption that happened some few weeks back. So I was reading on the space yesterday where another incident of such took place, but it seems that those that lost out were the ones that were against the governor. But it seems that these ones that have moved away from the PDP to APC wants to get what they called a total pull-out from pull down of the governor by making sure that the governor does not become the governor. How that is going to happen when the governor has already read the budget in a different environment with 6 people that still believe in him, the chief judge of the state have also not accepted this 27, telling now, for the governor to start making his way out of office. You can see that the political tension in Nigeria, sometimes could be as almost not favorable for many people. But what people are saying is that why should you be voting, and we vote for you as under the PDP as our House of Assembly, and then all of a sudden you wake up one morning and you decide that you're moving into APC. This is the question that many Nigerians are discussing and deliberating this morning.
So do you think that they are going to hold, the PDP were calling on
And that is the information minister to the left-hand side, which is different from Lai Mohammed that we always see his face all the time.
Now, so is there going to be an election? Will they call for an election?
Well, that is what they're thinking, that they want to push, for a new election. But like I said, this is like history repeating itself. A similar incident has happened in another state. I believe sometime around 2000. One of the elections that they've done. But like I said, it became a hostile to those that left the governors at the time, and they say it seems that politicians do not learn their lesson from previous events.
Okay, listen to Starr Radio UK. A couple of stories. More that we're going to be looking at before Yomi takes over the whole thing. Now, Tinubu has sacked FAAN. I was trying to get their names, Nama and a few people. So it's like when he came in, definitely these individuals will know that if they were not in the right standing with him, then of course they were going to be replaced. Let me put it that way, nice way for the president. The president Bola Tinubu on Wednesday approved the suspension, removal, and replacement of the chief executive officers under the Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development. Presidential spokesman Ajuri Ngelale, in statement last night, explained that the action, which takes immediate effect, is in line with President Tinubu's determination to bring world-class standards to Nigeria's civil aviation. Of late, we'll be having issues there. But before you may respond to that, some of you are there, me. Massive good morning to you. We hope that you are doing very, very well. Thank you very much for joining me. Johnny, the president sacked, suspense, and all that. Wow.
Well, as the president comes in, we should expect a lot of changes, especially, they have those that are loyal to them as well, but they also have to be loyal, to the country. What and who are those that have been taken off office this morning? Let's quickly give you those names. Those affected in the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, Nigerian Meteorological Agency, Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority. The SAC is in tender with its Renew Hope agenda, like you said, which is also going to bring world-class standard. We're talking about the FAN, which is the Federal Airport Authority. Mr. Kabil Yusuf Muhammad has been removed from office, replaced with Mrs. Olubumi Oluwaseun Kuku as the substantive managing director of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. Let's stick with the airport itself to start with. Mr. Archie, Nigeria will never surprise people like us. Benin Airport yesterday was in total darkness for 8 hours. People were literally checking in, getting onto the plane with the mobile phone touchlight, and it seems that again and again, you just cannot stop wondering how a country that has good amount of resources, good amount of people. So maybe Oluwabumi Oluwaseun Kuku will look into not just Benin Airport, but also look at some of the crash that has happened, like the Sosoliso that end up with almost 108 innocent Nigerians. Let's talk about the managing director of the Nigerian Airspace Management also, Mr. Tahib Adetunji Odunawo, has been removed from office, replaced with engineer Umar Ahmed Farouk. The question is, were this individual capable, and was this just again a political appointment? As we know, there is still much appointment, and the list is probably just sitting down with Tinubu, as there's no ambassador representing us right now, because Tinubu recalled each and every ambassador, apart from those representing Nigeria at the United Nations, back to Nigeria by the end of October. So there's still a lot of rooms to keep in those loyal to him during the campaign, and probably maybe world class to bring the best into the country.
Well, you did touch on what I was going to ask you next, and that was pertaining to the ambassadorial appointments.
You got to know that that is a big lobby. that one they say now big fish. Big fish. So he has to make sure he doesn't upset anybody.
I was thinking, well, would the Nigerian ambassador to Benin be brought back to Nigeria? You know why he went to Benin?
Yeah.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Well, we'll see what the president will do. He said the solution in town Will it make any impact at all? That's another story. But now, interestingly as well, we have the naira scarcity that is going on, cash scarcity. But people, the CBN is saying people are hoarding the banknotes. A year by this time as well, when we're getting ready for the Christmas and the Yuletide, that was when Emefiele and Buhari were still there, and they were actually changing the currency, and that brought about a lot of difficulties for Nigerians. So there was scarcity of money. People who did not get even the chance to go and to queue, and if you go and queue, you don't even get your money. Now, the bank acting director in charge of corporation, Mrs. Hakama Sidi Aliu, in a chat with newsmen in Abuja yesterday, said the CBN was monitoring the situation and had released sufficient cash to 8 branches across the country for onward distribution to deposit banks. However, they are of the view that people are actually hoarding the money. Yami, is that true?
Well, who is holding the money? Is it the average Nigerian that doesn't have the money, or is it just the big man that is doing the illegal mining and also injecting banditry and terrorism, according to the Minister of Mineral Resources, Dele Alake, as we said yesterday? I mean, holding the money, we spoke with Bishop on the Niger Voices yesterday, and he explained a lot. The government does not have enough forex. We rely on the Nigerians outside the diaspora, and that will send those dollar in, the pounds, the Canadian dollar, to be able to inject that into the economy. But the question is, how come then we are not able to get the naira? I mean, Nigerians do not spend dollar, we spend naira. But like you said, it seems that there is just this society that has not really helped. And let me take us back to what the World Bank is saying this morning as well. NNPCL not transparent on the subsidy dollar revenue. This is coming from the World Bank, this morning as well. According to the story coming out, the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation Limited is not transparent about the financial gains from the first subsidy removal. The World Bank has disclosed. This extends to the subsidy arrears that are still being deducted and the impact of the subsidy removal on the Federation revenue, the bank noted. The Washington-based made this call in its Nigeria Development Update December 2023 edition titled Turning the Corner from Reforms and the Renewed Hopes to Result. This is the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edo, revealed that the government was ready to scrutinize the revenue flow from the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited.
Well, they wouldn't tell us the truth so that we know that the state actually has made so much from the scrapping of the subsidy. But they will tell us that we all have to buckle up, we have to tighten our belts, and we get Nigerians still suffering. But listeners, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. We'll go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories making the rounds and what is happening on the social media platform. Over to you, sir.
Well, not a very good one if more companies continue to exit Nigeria. As another organization just coming onto the screen is also planning to exit the market. We always talk about Nigeria is a niche market when it comes to the population, when it comes to the demands of services and goods. But the problem is, why are those demands now something that is pulling out companies out of the market that many thought is the biggest in Africa? Jumia Food to exit Nigeria by the end of 2023. Jumia will cease operation for its food delivery service, Jumia Food, in all of its operational countries, which include Nigeria, Kenya, Morocco, Ivory Coast, Tunisia, Uganda, and Algeria by the end of December 2023. The company's current priorities across its 11 operational nations are the Jumia Pay platform and its core physical good business. Even though Jumia Food accounted for just 11% of the Jumia gross merchandise value in the first 9 months of 2023, the company has had difficulty turning a profit since it is founded. This indicates that between January and September 2023, the total value of food sold on the Jumia Food was $64 million, which is just about 11% or $581 million, a measure of immense size at which Jumia Food was functioning, but it is not a measure to profit. So it seems that Jumia is not making the profit in those countries that we've mentioned, and they decided, to pull out. There's a lot to still discuss as the River Attorney General is also resigning. This is just the breaking news coming right now as the tension continue in Rivers State. What could be the reason why, this Rivers State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Professor Zacchaeus Adago, has now resigned? His resignation was communicated in a letter dated and addressed to the governor as well. He noted that his exit from office was based on personal principles and is not connected to any political crisis that is currently rocking the state. Once again, we hope that the situation in Rivers State will come under a proper control. Well, let's go straight and talk about, some of the other news that is picking up from the news network this morning. The police also vowed, you talked about it before I came on air, there's a robbery that took place in Ikere in Ekiti State yesterday, but police is promising to apprehend the robbery perpetrators. The question is, why were the police not able to stop it in the first place? It shows that again and again, the insecurity is also danger to lives of Nigerians. I've seen videos of those that have been affected. Few people have been killed. So many of them have also been injured. It seems that a bomb was used when the bullion van was used, to move the money into one of the bank, Wema Bank. EFCC to probe suspended NCAA Director General, according to Nuri Badu, says the presidency. Well, that is the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. There's so much crime across Nigeria, but we hope it's not just a media trial, because the presidency on Wednesday said that the suspended Director General of the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, Captain Musa Shuaibu Nuhu, will be probed by the Economic and the Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Earlier, the President Bola Tinubu have suspended him, like we said earlier, and also replaced him, according to the spokesman, Ajuri Ngelale. The Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Captain Musa Shuaibu Nuhu, has been suspended so that the EFCC will be able to pick him up. I hope he will not run away before the pickup, because it's easy for the EFCC, to say that they're going to pick him up, only for us to be told that he has run out of the country. Just as, we couldn't allow Emefiele to run out, we must not allow some of these individuals to run out so that they can be able to be facing the justice as well. I just want us to see, the images of this individual, as many corrupt individuals are operating in Nigeria, but he's still guilty until innocent. He's still innocent until found guilty, they will say. So that's his face there. So we're going to be monitoring that, and we hope that his arrest would happen today and not tomorrow, since that is already in the media, so that it doesn't become a media trial as usual. Well, it seems that, NEPA is still one of the biggest issues in Nigeria this morning, but the NLC has faulted again the federal government plan to the TCN restructuring. The federal government, through the BPE, announced its plan to sell off about 40% shares of the government in the electricity distribution companies in the capital market in 2024. Well, the question again and again is, who is buying? Are they capable? And what is happening? Many Nigerians continue to stay in darkness, even as we said earlier, the airport in Benin Airport was on a complete total shutdown. Even one of the officers was saying, you cannot record. Well, the guy said, well, it's better for me to record so that we show the world how inept this airport is. Everyone has to go through it. I mean, it's just unbelievable that, imagine if you're carrying something that is not meant to be on the flight. That shows the insecurity, because nothing was working. The whole airport was in darkness. Well, as tomorrow is a big day, before we go into the social media, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu court case return again to Abuja Supreme Court, and we're going to be giving those details. Hopefully, we will have something to talk about before we come on air at 11 o'clock tomorrow. But the question again in the lips of many Nigerians is, what is his offense, and why is he being held by the EFCC in the last 3 years? That's why I said I hope the other man, which I know is from the northern part, the Shuaibu, will be picked up. We know that Emefiele is from the southeast. He was picked up. There's nothing wrong when they're picked up, but again, I do not stand and say that the other man has run out of Nigeria, just like the former minor ran out of Nigeria and went to Niger until he was brought back. Right now, I'm sure he's probably sitting somewhere in a very nice room being told that he's currently in the prison. So as we go straight into the social media at exactly 11:40, so I can come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie, there is a lot trending. Seyi Tinubu is trending, not too sure why. That's the son of the president. And when you are the son of the president, you will always also be in the limelight. So let's see if we can pick one or two things why he's trending. I know the last time we visited one of the property that belongs to him in St. John's Wood. What about $11 million? The property is also linked to, Deizani, is linked to Aluko, but it seems that Nigerians are so excited whenever they see, these individuals. So I'm trying to pick up why he's trending. Well, it seems that Lege says, Seyi Tinubu is my best friend. I'm not his best friend. Well, Lege is one man that also follows Seyi Tinubu. Seyi Tinubu gifted popular content creator Kit Miche a whooping sum of 10 million. Okay, maybe that is why it's trending, not too sure why. But it's the president's son, and just like Obama's son, and also the children of the president around the world will continue to trend. IPPIS is trending this morning. Also, the Biafra is trending this morning, and I guess that is got to do with Nnamdi Kanu court case tomorrow. Wura_Yoruba, also continue to say, and in these Wura_Yoruba Nimi reposted what Simon Ekpa, the PM of the Biafra government in exile, wrote just around November. Our Yoruba brothers must regard those criminals attacking them as defeated Fulani agents in the Biafra struggle and completely ignore them. It is only the Nigerian paid and implanted agent that will attack Yorubas after the historic joint press briefing in the Biafra. Nobody should listen to them, tagging us in that video, in that post as well. Well, as we saw in that post from Professor Moyo Okedeji, says it was the Igbo people that saved him in the hands of the criminal police officer that they were almost going to kill him. Also, Simon Ekpa posted some few hours back. The criminal want to trend with Simon Ekpa. He thinks Nigeria will pay him for his rubbish. Can you imagine if he's in Biafra land? Biafra will go and flog the... I will not read the other part because it's not going to go on the air. But again, as usual, there's this tomorrow will be a total lockdown in the southeast because of the case of Nnamdi Kanu. And as Nigerians continue to ask questions around the bombing in Kaduna, are we ever going to see justice for those that were killed in Kaduna? Because we haven't got justice for many Nigerians that have been killed in the past. As also, I picked up the case of Mohbad. Naira Marley accused Iyabo Ojo of defamation, is now demanding 500 million naira. This case of Mohbad is still ongoing. The Nigerian Entertainment Afiz Fashola, also known as Naira Marley, has now taken legal action against actress Iyabo Ojo, alleging the character defamation of false and defamatory content on her Instagram account. This case will be a long one because Mohbad hasn't got the justice, and many Nigerians are asking questions, even asking whether the son or the wife rather should do a DNA. There's a lot of different conversation on that, but what I always say is every Nigerian needs justice, but it seems that one goes more to hopefully bring the justice. Delegiwa till date haven't got the justice, but we hope that one day justice will be served for every single one of us.
Maybe one day, who knows? In our time, justice will be served. But there will not be peace without justice. Tomorrow, as Yomi said, we'll be following the development in the Nnamdi Kanu's case when it's taken to the courts. We'll see. Maybe for a Christmas gesture and goodwill, they'll say, let's give him a bill. That would be a story. But who knows? All right then. Yomi, before you go.
Well, don't touch the dial at 14/12/2023 at 11:44 right here in London. I'll take you back now to Archie for the rest of the morning show. I'll be back again tomorrow at 11 o'clock. For now, have a very good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Have a lovely day. Listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is Starr in the UK. 11:45 the time, and I'm going to bring you some music, and then from there we continue with the discussion.
You committing corny. My stomach don't cry. Go find food chop. You committing corny. What's the time now? Okay. All right, we're gonna go in there again. Probably we come back. I hope you've enjoyed the first two program. Am I being anything because if not, are disconnected. The button in the show, but show. Yeah, mo ṣe gbé sí, portrait àbí landscape then, because I have to charge the phone. So if not, I will have disconnected. But since that, if I got disconnected, so I can plug on me. Bàbá Kẹ́hìndé Òsénì ẹ ti pè mí àbí? Wrong time lè máa ń pè tí ìgbà tá a bá wà lórí program lè máa ń pè wá. Ẹni pè wá nígbà tá a bá sí lórí program. Anytime tí bá wà lórí program lè máa ń pè. Anyway, ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi, mo ti ya omi lu tíì o. Mo ní láti fi tea bag nísìnyí. Òkú kan ló ń gbé lọ báyìí kọ́ ló ń foríjì kábíyèsí Elédùmarè. Ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹṣin yẹn tó ń ṣe ń dún. Ẹṣin yẹn ló ń dún lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Ṣé ń gbọ́ sound ẹṣin yẹn? Tẹ̀sí atẹ́gùn wọlé díẹ̀. Ìgbà míì lẹ́yìn kan mi a máa ń nílò òtútù yẹn kó wọlé. Kọ́ ló ń kó foríjì wọn. Ẹ máa yín politician ẹ máa ṣe bí ìgbà tó yẹ pé ẹni kú mọ́. Ẹ máa fi àjà wọn yàn. Gbogbo wa náà la máa kú. Kọ́ ló ń jẹ́ ká lẹ́mìí gúngùn ni. Ẹ máa fi àjà wọn yàn wá o. Ẹ túbọ̀ máa fi àjà wọn yàn wá. Crazy system. So tèmi, I can take a short break. It's been back to back, so Kale Padawa probably maybe in the next few hours we can be able to do some other more program as well. But for now, I gotta go now so that Mali lost me there. Mali Padawa. Omo, tell me about she ya wale. Ya wale repete ni. So mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí mo kí gbogbo yín grandma, kí gbogbo yín olólùfẹ́ wa. Maize Gold. Báwo la dúgbò yín lọ́hùn. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa náà lórí TikTok. Thank you so much. Oh, watching you from Dolan House, UK. Níbo ni ẹ wà? Dolan House, ó lè jẹ́ building, ṣé immigration building ni? Ṣáṣá London ni ẹ, àbínú London. Ọ̀nà wo wà láti inú Dolan House? Paddington. Oh, okay. Yeah. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi nìyẹn. Bàbá àgbàlagbà. Dáṣà, okay. Ó yẹ kí n wá gan sef, but apparently ó yẹ kí n wá nígbà tí Rishi Sunak wá lára àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n wa tó wà ní òkè Dolan House yẹ ó ti yé mi yẹ mo ti ní láti ti dárúkọ yín mọ̀ mo ti mẹ́ tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ ní COVID inquiry ẹ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní orí TikTok lẹ́tí máa wò mí ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ̀ bí mi pé Mr. Koiki ṣe sure pé ṣé kíní ò ní dìjà mo ní àbẹ̀ Ọlọ́run kó má dìjà náà ni o. He was very concerned, many people are concerned that in time fact no wọ́n ní ṣó máa lè bọ́ sí báyìí tí kò ní dìjà mo ní ìwẹ́ èmi ò mọ yẹn o because Nnamdi Kanu ló dè mọ́lẹ̀ nísìnyí sọ Ọlọ́run wà pẹ̀lú yẹn gbọ́n mi ẹ kúṣẹ́ àwọn tó ń ṣe security long hours ló máa ń ṣe lórí ìdúró nínú òtútù ṣe ẹ busy lẹ́ni àbí ẹ busy lẹ́ni n tẹ̀ mọ́ kí ni update ẹni tí mo fẹ́ torí àwa mo ti wá so àti àwọn tó to move on ìjọ tí mo lọ sí COVID inquiry lẹ́gbọ̀n ẹ̀rín Mr. Koiki mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mí náà ní inú wọn dùn gan. I'm so happy to see you as well. Ọlọ́run àkókò wà pẹ̀lú gbogbo wa iṣẹ́ kan lèmi náà ń ṣe níbí wáyé o busy lẹ́ni ẹ mọ̀ pé nígbà tí Boris Johnson ti wá àti Rishi Sunak gbogbo àwọn tó kù tó máa wá nísìn àwọn just small cabinet minister ní sóhun tó fà á nìyẹn ìgbà Boris Johnson yẹn wọ́n busy bàjẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi kan mo ní kọ́ bá mi ya picture Mr. Koiki wọ́n nígbà ẹ̀kọ́ yé yín àmọ́ ló ti yé mi Ọlọ́run wà pẹ̀lú yẹn ṣé gan ni ẹ bá ń kí àwọn dáàdì wa the other one yẹn náà so very many Nigerians that are working in UK I was expecting you when Rishi Sunak yẹ kí n wá but mo kàn sọjú nù níjàre Boris Johnson gangan ni mo fi wá target ó yẹ kí n wá nígbà Rishi Sunak yẹn but mo kàn sọjú nù níjàre kò easy náà ká tó lọ síbi ká tó lọ sọ́hùn Yẹmí Fátókì èèyàn ti gbowó àti Koiki Media tí bá ní mo fẹ́ mu tíì nísìnyí ẹ̀gbọ́n yàrá máa sẹ́ndì náírà sí mi màá bèrè pé báwo ṣe fẹ́ lo náírà yìí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Yẹmí Fátókì kò ní tán bẹ̀rẹ̀ láì I appreciate everyone we want the best I think even if Nigeria is giving us the best ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tó ní ages àwọn ti Belgium nìyẹn àpárá ni mo kàn ń dá nísìnyí ó yẹ kí n máa boil ẹyin ni ebi ti ń pa mí ó yẹ kí n boil ẹyin ta ló máa ń jẹ boil egg I love boil egg wọn náà da gan ẹ kí n boil ẹyin méjì ni so àbọ̀rọ̀ mi ò yé nísìnyí you know it's just that the country get as it be that country kò sí hope ń bẹ mọ́ if anybody is still thinking that there is hope then may God Almighty Allah make it to increase your knowledge and wisdom ẹ ṣe gan ẹ̀gbọ́n mi it is good for the boy bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ máa boil ẹ̀ ọmọ rẹ̀ ta fi ń jẹ inú ilé yìí gan 15 ni mo ṣe rà níjọ́ òní ó kù mẹ́rin èmi náà máa jẹ méjì nísìn àgbàlagbà gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ méjì ọ̀nà ó da gan máa boil ẹyin nísìn máa jẹ ẹyin nísìn so ìta ṣe lẹ́yìn àbí ṣé ó ti tó for now ká padà wá kí gbogbo náà kó lọ sinmi Mr. Deniyi Jubril Bukinsa so ẹ ká lọ relax díẹ̀ so ká tó lè padà wá so at least màá lè ní strength so tí bá ti jẹ yẹn tó máa ní strength please drink less of coffee or àmọ́ mo coffee ò lẹ́ǹkankan náà ni ẹ̀rí ẹni tó wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lánàá ni wọ́n ní wọ́n bá ní gbogbo nǹkan kò sí bá ọmọ òtútù yìí ti fẹ́ máa mú mi jẹ́ pa ẹ̀ ti nílò òtútù yìí ti fẹ́ máa wọlé moderate náà ni gbogbo nǹkan láyé Mr. Olamilekan Olúṣẹ́sí Olúṣẹ́sí náà nìyẹn everything is moderate in life so kò sí bá ṣe fi avoid a lot of those things it just has to be in moderate so that you know tó bá ti pọ̀ jù náà ló máa ń di problem then wọ́n dẹ̀ ní tí wọ́n bá ṣe ń dàgbà sí ìyàn náà máa ṣe kí ni wọ́n á máa reduce you know tí wọ́n bá ti ń pé 40 wọ́n bá ti ń pé 50 ẹ̀yin bàbá 50 ẹ̀yin ẹ̀gbọ́n mi 60 ẹ̀yin àwọn tó tàtẹ̀ ti pé 70 àwọn tí mo wọn ara wọn ti wọn wọ́n máa ṣọ́ oúnjẹ tó bá ń jẹ ni so but irú àwọn tá a wà ní 40 náà nísìn a gbọ́dọ̀ máa ṣọ́ oúnjẹ tá à ń jẹ so that kọ́lọ̀ kó fún wa ṣe so it is well. Boiling egg is better than fried egg bẹ́ẹ̀ ni òróró lẹ́yìn òróró náà ni fried yẹn kí ló tún ṣe tí Jumia náà tún kúrò Nàìjíríà báyìí kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ náà a ní ìdíṣẹ́ fáwọn èèyàn nílé gbogbo wọn tún lọ gbogbo àwọn tó ń gbọ́ ọ̀kadà yẹn nísìn wọ́n máa lose iṣẹ́ má ṣe o bọ̀ kò ń ṣe Nàìjíríà nìkan wọ́n dà ń pé gbogbo African country kankan lọ́ọ́ ti fẹ́ lọ má ṣe o many people don't have a job and àwọn kan tún lọ la máa ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ báyìí so ẹ̀yin tèmi ẹ jẹ́ ká pa broadcast yẹn so kí n padà wá kí n lọ boil ẹyin lágbára Ọlọ́run fún wa ṣèdílẹ̀ so thank you so much and have a very great day so a padà wá later pẹ̀sẹ̀pẹ̀sẹ̀ thanks so much everyone gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wo broadcast wa ẹ bá wa pín káàkiri kí ó kárí ilé shout out ó dàbọ̀ bye for now ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ẹ ṣé gan ni o kẹyà ṣe o àdúrà wa gbà o ẹ bá ń kí àwọn family yín o ó dàbọ̀. sẹ́yìn tèmi ẹ jẹ́ ká end gbogbo broadcasting so a padà wá bí i probably after 2 hours àti wá ṣe gbàgbé màá lè ráyè jókòó alẹ́ ọkọ̀ Nàìjíríà ní balẹ̀ dẹ́lẹ̀ Gani Olóyèdè ó dàbọ̀ a padà wá later. Bàbá Salami ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ó dàbọ̀ ẹ bá ń kíyàwó àtàwọn ọmọ yín pẹ̀lú gbogbo àwọn tó bá wà lábẹ́ ètò thank you so much.